Well, greetings, beautiful people. Are you new to digital video? Are you looking to improve your online presence in meetings like Skype and Zoom? Are you just getting into streaming and want to do this on a budget? Start out simple, slow, easy, and not break the bank? Well, I'm going to try and help you go from this to this as quick as possible, as painlessly as possible. Stick around. I'll give you more information. Okay, let me start by saying I'm sorry for any shake as I'm hand-holding my phone to show you the camera that I started with, which is a very generic, no-name, off of Amazon, $29 0.9 megapixel web camera, which is pretty much equivalent to a laptop integrated webcam. Some of the models that are out there do go up to 2 and 3 megapixel, so you can actually get 1080. This one is limited to 720p max. And the built-in microphone that's in this, please focus, is absolute trash. So my first tip to you is going to be, if you're going to use a web camera, get yourself an external USB microphone that is going to help you be heard. Also, if you're going to use a web camera, and I'm going to go to a demonstration after, light is your best friend in this. That's going to help you. The lower and dimmer the lights that are in your studio, your room, your surroundings, it's going to hurt you being seen by the web camera. As you saw at the very start, it is very fuzzy, very grainy, and very noisy. The more light you add, the better it's going to be. So we'll go to that demonstration right now. So here we are back at the 720p, $29 no-name Amazon bought integrated web camera. That's what it shows. I'm using the Windows camera app as a demonstration purpose for the quality of all of the two cameras that I'm going to show you in this video. But this is what happens when you have just a single light in your room and you're using a 0.9 megapixel web camera. And as I said, light is going to be your best friend if you're going to stick with a web camera. I would suggest you don't, because you're never going to get rid of the graininess that you're seeing in this video. It's always going to be there. Now, the newer integrated webcams that are coming in laptops, they have a much clearer view, but it's still not the type of quality. It's okay, it's passable. A lot of them are 1080 now, but you want to get the best bang for your buck, and you don't want to invest a lot of money. So what you're going to start with is a couple of ring lights, possibly even some fill lights, natural light, sunlight, if you can schedule all of your meetings on sunny days only, which would be wonderful if that could happen, but the world is as it is, and you're going to have cloudy, dull days. So we're going to start with the above ring light, and you can see the graininess is reducing. The more light that you add, the less you're going to have in terms of noise. Now, as you can see, it's blowing my face out the brighter you get the light. So you need to offset your direct light in front with some fill light, which now I can actually be seen. And with with the coarse ring lights, you're also able to cycle through the colors. You're not going to get a completely perfect. This web camera here is just god awful. I mean, it's passable. It'll do in an emergency, but you really want to use something better. Even the camera that's on your phone, they do have software available where an app is on your phone, an app is on your PC, and it's going to use your home network to have that video show up on your computer. However, depending on your internet provider, that's going to chew up at some of your bandwidth. So you want to be very careful how you do it. And depending on how technical you are, by enabling developer mode on an Android phone, I can't speak to iOS because I have no idea. I've never used an Apple phone. I was originally a Windows Phone user. I'm now an Android user. But if you enable developer mode in Android, you're going to be able to allow USB debugging, which will give you a USB connection to your camera through your phone, through, I believe it's Irium webcam, which has a PC and Mac software. And your phone will also have an app that it will connect to. But it normally uses your built-in home network. Now, the built-in Microsoft camera app that's in Windows 10 is what I'm using to record this. I have my camcorder, I have my phone with the app that I can use on this app and in Zoom, also in Skype. And I can switch between them, including the web camera, which is listed as integrated. But this is basically about the best you're going to get with a $29 webcam. You can spend a little bit more money at Amazon for more megapixels and probably a clearer picture, a 1080. But price-wise, my suggestion is still go with a camcorder. I'm not going to recommend a DSLR or mirrorless because they're just too plain expensive. Unless you're picking it up as a hobby, then I'm going to tell you to definitely go check out other videos on YouTube here. There are top 5 cameras, top 10 cameras by seasoned streamers, professional photographers who also do streaming and use DSLR and mirrorless in their daily lives. I would suggest watching their videos if you are going to continue with photography, with a digital camera. This one I can't use as a web camera because the HDMI port, the minute you plug an HDMI cable into my digital camera, it goes into preview mode and becomes a glorified photo shower. So I'm not going to give you a recommendation of any kind of expensive DSLR or mirrorless camera. That's just not the way I'm going. So what we'll do is we'll switch over to my preferred method of doing a live stream and or an online meeting. So here you have my preferred method of web meeting, streaming camera, or just in general web camera. That would be my Sony HDR CX220, which you're seeing the on-screen display of the face detection. Now, what I'm able to do is to go into the menu, come into shooting mode. You're seeing basically the on-screen menu using the joystick. I don't have the touch screen version. The HDR CX, the Sony's camcorders, Some of the models have a touchscreen, some use a joystick. My model happens to use the joystick, but also does not have any external mic input. So it's a much cheaper model. And used, these are going dirt cheap on eBay. Anyways, you're going to go into your shooting mode and you're going to choose movie. I had it in photo mode, so that's why it had the square for the face tracking. And what you end up with is nice clean HDMI 1080p. And I said I'm using the built-in Microsoft camera app that's in Windows 10. I think it also comes in Windows 11, but I know it was in Windows 8. I don't think it goes back any further, but this integrates into pretty much any piece of software: OBS Studio, Zoom, Skype. I can't think of the other names at the moment of other online meeting apps. However, my camera is not the only portion of what I'm using. I'm also using a USB capture device, which has an added benefit that it works with my phone via USB-C, that I can use my phone as a monitor and a recorder for doing videography out and about in the field. But mainly because of the fact that it has a micro HDMI port, you have to be very gentle with it because these are very fragile devices. So if you're going to use it as a webcam for online meetings, know the spots you're going to have your camera and run your HDMI cable to your USB port, well, your capture device to your USB port, and try not to move it as much as possible. The more you move the cable, the more danger you suffer, or you're going to risk damaging the port. But being that it's a cheap, a fairly inexpensive camera, when I bought this a few years back, the camcorder, I didn't spend over $150, and that was brand new with a full year warranty. It was an end of line sale, and I think also an open box special. I tend not to buy off of eBay used, but I know people who have great luck doing so. I've never risked it. I mean, I might in future, but I know there's dirt cheap models out there. Now, let's say the battery happens to be blown. That's fine. You can go on to Amazon and you can get yourself a plug-in power supply for this camera, as it does have the ability to be powered via a plug. So you don't have to rely on batteries. You could also buy some cheap batteries for the back, which have a higher capacity. However, to do so, you're risking having the camera shut off, interrupting your stream and or your meeting to switch batteries. I would suggest you get yourself some dedicated power, and again, familiarize yourself with the camcorder and its settings. You're going to want to turn off the power saving mode, because it's going to want to turn off by itself if not used after a minute, after 5 minutes, after 30 minutes, or you select never, that it just stays on until you close the door. So what I'll do is I will switch over to another camera and I will show you the basic setup for how to plug the camera into your USB port so that you can capture the video in any kind of software that you have on your PC: OBS, Zoom, Skype. Again, I just can't think of the other names. Any instant messenger that you happen to have on your PC that has the video capability. You're just going to have to select your USB capture device as the source of your video, which is actually going to be your Sony camcorder. And as you can see, it doesn't have any ghosting issues. It's a full 60 frames. It's 1080p. There's no noise. I mean, if you turn the light down, it will become noisy, but if you have it in automatic mode, it's going to go into low light mode, and you're going to look like a ghost, basically, night vision. But it's a fairly, and I mean fairly, inexpensive. You're looking at under $250 all in. USB cables, power supply, camera, USB capture device. Once you've established yourself as a streamer, as you know, someone that's actually into video, then go to your DSLR and mirrorless. But get your feet wet with the cheapest equipment that's going to give you nice, clean HDMI for your streaming, for your net meetings, for whatever purpose you have. Okay, so what camera am I talking about? Well, that would be this camera here, the Sony HDR CX220. There are other HDR CX models. There's the 405, there's the 355. There's many models that are available online. And as I said, you can purchase extra batteries on Amazon. They have extra capacity, so you can keep extra batteries charged in your camera bag. Now this happens to be an 8.9 megapixel sensor, fixed focus lens, which has, where is the lens cover opening? There. So that dust protector basically. So when it's not in use, you close it off. But it has a screen, and when it turns on, oh, my lens cover is still closed, sorry. And as I said, this is the joystick version. So there's the menu again, and that's what you saw on the screen. That when you go into the shooting mode, it gives you the option of video and photo. So you move down to video. Now, you see this currently on the screen, that when you're in the video shooting, your HDMI output does not see what is on your screen. But you have the ability to turn this into a vlogging camera. So now the screen flips, and you'll notice that I'm using my Samsung Galaxy A22 to film this portion of it. The screen flips, and you now have the menu upside down. Well, it's upside down. But when it turns back over and the joystick is back to the top, everything is still the same. So you're used to using it. Now here is the HDMI port, and as I said, it is micro HDMI, and it is delicate. Anyone that you hear talk about these things, that they are so easily broken, bent, destroyed, you know. Now you do have the ability to record on the go with SD cards. You have extra capacity batteries on it, of course. Your recording button, going wide and tight, that's that selector. But you also have the ability to take photos. So that's your camera, that's your shutter button right there. You have the ability to both charge the battery and transfer files with a built-in USB plug that's built into the handle. This is so hard to do on camera. There we are. So what else do you need? Oh, sorry. You do have the ability, as I said, to have external power powering your device. Now, I don't know if you're able to see it. That's pretty dark and it's casting a shadow, so let me just get a flashlight. There it is there. So you've got DC power in, and you've also got another USB port out for file transferring. And I do believe there is a USB to composite? Not component, composite. The RCA plugs. But that's lower quality. You definitely do want to use your HDMI cable. So that's under there. There's nothing on the bottom. So we'll exit that menu and close that off. So that's the camera that I use for streaming, for web meetings. But I'm also out and about filming. I happen to like this camera for videography. But here is the little magic gem, your HDMI video capture, which this one cost $12. And I thought, when I looked at it online, I thought, well, that looks like just cheap plastic. That is metal. I couldn't believe it. I was so shocked. I don't have my pen handy. I have a knife. That is not plastic. That is absolute metal. So you can see on the HDMI port here, there are screws. And that's your USB. But it goes HDMI to USB to the PC. So it is hooked up via full-size HDMI to a micro HDMI, which goes in the side of the camera. So we'll turn that on. We will plug this in. And then this goes into your USB port. Sorry, that's my other phone. For your PC. Oh, I can't seem to get it. Let's move this up a bit. So there's my hub. That is plugged in. And what we will do is we will go into, I'm going to give you a bit of cameraception here. I'm going to go into my camera, as I said. So the built-in camera that's in Windows 10. So this is the integrated laptop, which is the fuzzy, that's that camera there. And if I go here, which is normally the symbol for switching front to back camera on your phone, there it is. This is the Sony Live. So you're watching the Sony Live. There's my hand in front of the camera. And as you can notice, there doesn't seem to be too much lag. So there's cameraception. And it is incredibly easy to use with other software. So I think what I'll do is I will take you into Zoom and show you how to select. All right, I'm still getting used to this here. So now I want to start a new meeting. There we are, sorry. And there we are. So you'll notice, sorry it took so long to get there. So we'll take that full screen. And what you will notice is now there's cam reception again. So you are in Zoom. And you are seeing what the camera sees. So now, that's a basic overview of using a camcorder as a webcam for your online streaming, your online meetings, for basic videography, using the software that comes with your PC. You can try other models of used camcorders where you're not going to end up spending, you know, up to and including $1,500. Some models go well beyond $3,500 depending on the type of DSLR and mirrorless that you're going to. Plus you have to add lenses and the extra added equipment of if you're going to use a DSLR and mirrorless, you need a dummy battery plus external power. Plus you have to familiarize yourself with possibly other software. As I know, some of the Sony's, you have to have the Sony software for your camera to be picked up by the software that's in your PC. These are all different, you know, things that you can find out later. And like I said, there are lots of other videos of good quality DSLR and mirrorless. I'm just mainly going, if you're starting out, do it as cheaply as possible where you're going to get the highest quality video that you can have for the least amount of money. Don't break the bank when you're starting out. Maybe you won't like it in the long run if you're just becoming a streamer. You know, and at that, if you're going to stick to a webcam, you're only going to be a small little portion in the corner. Where if you're game streaming, it's the game that's the more important part of the video stream. You're in the corner, unless you're going to do, you know, reaction videos. If you're going to do crocheting tutorials, you know, automotive discussions, an automotive podcast, who knows? The possibilities are endless for you, and I'm pretty sure, you know, you have the talent to do whatever it is you want to do, but just starting out, do it cheaply, do it on a budget, and have fun. And I hope you enjoy. I hope this helps. Like if you like it. See you later, guys. Have fun and enjoy.